Good morning. Thank you for coming into this session. Uh, I am Shatarupa Banerjee and I will be taking the session on nonviolent communication today with you all. So, thank you again for coming into this session. A brief about myself. I am a master trainer in behavioral competencies and soft skills. I am also a certified instructional designer, learning and development professional, as well as certified psychological counselor. I have been into the field for the past 12 years. I started my career as a lecturer in human resource and organizational behavior, and thereafter I transited into training and psychological counseling. Training has been a greatest passion for me. I love delivering training sessions and creating more human connections by exchanging knowledge. And I learn from my participants a lot as well. So this gives me a lot of avenues where I can learn a lot, and I'm a learner for life. So today I'll be taking a session on NVC, or which is called the nonviolent communication. Now, what is nonviolent communication? Nonviolent communication, as the name suggests, it is basically something or a communication which has nonviolence, which is nonviolence in nature, be it emotional or physical. It is much more a peaceful communication. It is also called a compassionate communication or a cooperative communication. Nonviolent communication was introduced by Marshall Rosenberg in the 1960s, and he introduced this particular concept on the assumptions that people are in general very empathetic and compassionate. However, when they are into some conversations, they have a tendency to make harmful comments, which creates a conflict in the relationship and creates a friction in the relationship and makes the relationship, more disharmonious. So, with the focus in mind to make a relationship or a connection, a human connection, more compassionate and empathetic, he introduced this concept of nonviolent communication. Nonviolent communication has four elements in this, which we call as the OFNR, or the observations, feelings, needs, and requests. Now, before I start with observations, needs, feelings, and requests, I would like to tell you a short incident. Ram and Rahul, they are both colleagues in an organization, and they have a meeting at around 1 p.m., and that meeting is very important for Rahul. Now Ram comes late for the meeting, and Rahul was already ready for the meeting by 1 p.m., but Ram comes late around 1:15, that means 15 minutes late. Seeing this, Rahul got extremely angry and he shouted upon Ram and said that, why are you so late? I have missed one of my I will be missing one of my assignments in the late evening. Just because you are late, the entire meeting will get along with a lot of time. It will take a lot of time for the meeting to end. So why are you late? And I did not like it the way you have come late, and I am really frustrated, and I will, next time if you are late, then I will actually talk to the higher manager. So this is the particular scenario. So with this particular incident in mind, let me start with the observations, needs, feelings, and requests. Now, what are observations? Observations are something that we see, hear, or imagine or touch directly, and it is without any judgments or without any generalizations. So, when I say what is the observation for this particular incident, here we see that Ram is late and Rahul is actually shouting upon him, and he is yelling upon him, and Ram is standing and listening to that. So this is exactly what we see, nothing more, nothing less. We do not want to generalize this statement that, okay, Rahul might have been very sad, Ram would have been very angry, Rahul have been more angry and Ram would have been very sad. Ram would have been late because of da 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 da. So no, this is not the scenario. Whatever we are seeing, observing, this is what we have to tell, that this is what we are observing. The direct watching what is happening. Now coming to the feelings. Now when I say feelings, it's about the emotions that arise between us when we are dealing with a conflicting situation. So it is not only the feelings that arise between us, but it is also the feelings that I see in the other person as well. So here what we see is Ram is late and Rahul is shouting upon him out of sheer anger and irritation, and he is very much annoyed. So this is the feeling, he is feeling annoyed, irritated and angry. So that much we have to tell when we are talking in the NVC language, that Ram is having a feeling of annoyance, anger and irritation. Now coming to the third element of nonviolent communication is needs. Now needs are the basic requirements of any individual, and these needs are universal irrespective of place, person or things. And Rosenberg also talks about the shared needs, because it is not the need of me that I require something, I need to fulfill my needs, my needs have to be met, but also I am concerned about your needs, that what needs to be fulfilled in you, so that there is a better human connection. So these needs, so feelings and needs, when we talk about the feelings and needs, there are different kinds of feelings list, which the nonviolent communication actually gave us. And this list is exhaustive. It might be a feeling of peacefulness, loving, feeling of being happy, playful, interested, or in the negative sense, a feeling of being afraid, sad, annoyed, tired, or confused. So they have a list, exhaustive list of words which can be used in the form of feelings. Now coming to the needs also have an exhaustive list, like need for empathy, need for interdependence, need for love, need for protection, need for meaning in life, need for honesty, need for well-being, need for transcendence. So these are some of the needs that we see. Need for security. So what is the need here? When we talk about this particular example, the need here is the need to be punctual. The Ram is late, Rahul is shouting upon him. So Rahul says here that you are not on time, you are late. So that means his need was Ram to come at the right time. So the need was of punctuality. And also he was looking some kind of responsible act from the Ram side as well. So the final element of nonviolent communication is the requests. Requests are active invitations which are given to a person on what we want to happen rather than what we don't want to happen. So if I say I have a request towards you, that means that this request is coming from either to myself or to the other person. And if the other person is saying even no to that request, that is also okay, because we all have a choice to answer, and we have the choice and the freedom to answer a particular statement as a no. So that this in which language this coming of no is not of any violence, or not in anything which is regards to creating a friction or being harmful towards the other person. It's just that I am expressing my feeling towards you. So here, if Rahul would have been, Rahul would have talked in an NVC language, then what requests he would have placed towards Ram? So he might have talked in this manner: Ram, you are late for the meeting, and I feel very angry when you are late for the meeting. I would request you to come on time from next meetings, and help a very good human relationship. So when he is saying, he is also expressing his feelings. He is telling what he didn't like, and he has placed a request for him to come on time for the next meeting thereafter. So this actually creates this NVC language creates a harmonious effect on Ram, so that there is no friction in the human connection and there is a better interpersonal relationship. So this is what are the basics of NVC. I'll be very happy to answer all your queries if you have any queries to ask. And thank you for giving me such time to present NVC to you. Thank you once again for your presence. Goodbye.